I know this is a little bit of a late start, but welcome to the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we're going to start off with some more news on the job development front. So, earlier in the week on Monday, I received some unexpected, I should say, news about an opportunity coming up that I, again, didn't really know this at all, but so the iSchool at Syracuse University reached out to me. They did an alumni survey back a few years ago, where I said that I expressed interest in teaching a course, or at least being a professor. So, and I remember they did this, I think, back in 2021, 2022. Must have been 2022, I believe, and they were looking for alumni to join their faculty part time. So they reached out to me and asking if I was interested in teaching one particular class for the fall semester. This course, it would be IST 341. It's called User-Centered Design, which is essentially based on what I looked at it in the syllabus. Basically, that means it is a course on human-computer interaction. It's at the undergraduate level. I took it when I was a student. I believe this was my second to last semester, and second to last semester, almost finished up here, spring of 2014, and I took it with Dr. Yang Wang, who actually became my research supervisor that summer because I actually did a research project after I took that class, and we did 5 years worth of it. So 5 years. So that began the process of 5 years doing research for Syracuse University. We published a lot of papers, and we did a whole bunch of interesting projects, including designing two key, maybe two or three key tools or applications, web applications that individuals with disabilities, particularly individuals with visual impairments, could use. And we published, I think, at least 3 or 4 papers. And I remember attending 3 conferences to present my work. One in 2015 in Canada, and then the other in 2017 in Baltimore, and then finally in 2019 in Santa Clara, California. And it all started with me taking this class, what was known as IST 449, and also what's now known as IST 341. So I said that I would take it, and we have a meeting on Monday. So they wanted me to send my resume to one of the current professors on the faculty at Syracuse University. And so what I'm going to be doing is I will be meeting with her virtually on Monday night. We'll be talking about the position, see if I'm a good fit. Also cover the course content as well as any questions that I have. And then I'm supposed to let the Academic Affairs Office know how the meeting goes, whether or not I will actually be moving forward with this or not. So, and I'm very, very excited. I've wanted to teach a course. I've wanted to be some sort of teacher or professor, even though it's for just one semester. Maybe if this one goes well, then I'd be invited to come back in the spring. And it's only one class, so that means I would be able to do my other work that I'm currently doing now with Field Nation and my IT jobs, my IT business. I'd still be able to do all that other work, and I'd be while I'm doing this, and I'd be making about, let's say, and this is an estimate here, $1,500 per credit hour for the semester, which turns out it's a 3-credit course, so that turns out to be about $4,500 total for the semester. And if I'm able to do that with my other work, that would be great. And yes, it would look great on my resume. I have the research experience to back up my my knowledge, or at least my expertise. I mean, we'll see. I've never actually taught a full course before, and I looked up the enrollment. This class is full of 40 students, so that's a lot more than I had expected. And we will just see how things go. I'll be curious to know whether or not this meeting is successful or not. So, Mom, if I just saw that you've just tuned in. The spreadsheet for 3 job. Oh, I didn't put that together. The spreadsheet for 3 jobs. No, I didn't put together a spreadsheet. Is that what you? And I still haven't heard back from Doug regarding the opportunity at Peace Incorporated. But I feel like if I do Peace Incorporated, then I wouldn't be able to do the jobs that I'm doing at the moment because let's say I get the professorship job, and then I end up working at Peace. I'd be pretty much devoting all of my time to those 2 opportunities, Peace and SU, and that would mean I would not be able to do anything else with the. Doug just returned from vacation, so I probably will hear from him on Monday, the same day that I'll be meeting with one of the other professors from Syracuse University at the iSchool, who is the PhD program director. She's probably taken the place of Yang Wang, and so I still want to be able to do. I have not interviewed yet. This is for the opportunity to teach the IST 341 course, the user-centered design. I mean, the human-centered design. Excuse me, the human-computer interaction course that I was given the opportunity to do in the fall. So Monday night at 8 will be when I meet virtually with this other SU professor to see if I'm a good fit for this particular position and whether or not I want to actually go through with it and planning the course contents, what I'd actually be covering in the course and how my class would actually be structured. So I'll find all of that out on Monday night. And at the same time, no, I still have not heard back from Doug at Peace. But let's just say, hypothetically, I interview for the Peace job, I end up getting that, and then I end up teaching this one course at SU. That means I'm not really going to have any time to do the work that I'm doing now, which is traveling around the state and doing all these different jobs and not having a set work schedule. I feel like even though the class is Tuesday and Thursday, the nature of the Peace job is such that I'm not really able to. Well, I would have to probably do that full time because it involves monitoring and managing the entire agency's network, and that takes 5 days a week, and that involves really close monitoring of the networks because the network, the Peace Incorporated network system could go down at any time, and if it does, it would be up to me to fix that. And so that's gonna be really difficult to try to manage that particular Peace job at one particular time. And then I would have to focus on working on my class, not only teaching the students in the classroom, but grading their assignments, communicating with them outside of class, and doing all of that stuff. So we will see we will see how those opportunities go. But I'm really, really excited. This has been the first time, or at least this has been the first thought on my mind since I gotten the opportunity. I was thinking back to my research opportunities and trying to figure out exactly what's the best thing. So, and I feel like I don't, even though I don't have the experience standing up in front of a classroom and talking to students or guiding students through a course, I feel like doing the show is kind of like the same thing, but instead of doing it from the comfort of my home studio, it's standing in front of a class of 40 students. And in the classroom, there's no breaks or there's no commercials or music breaks, so I'm going to have to improve my communication skills, such as transitioning, or at least communicating my single ideas out without any stumbles, eye contact, all those social skills and whatnot. So I'll keep you posted how both these things go. I know at least Monday I'll be meeting with the professor at Syracuse University to discuss whether or not I'd be a good fit and whether or not I can pursue this opportunity further. And again, I'm sure Doug from Peace Incorporated would probably reach out to me sometime next week. But again, I am. It does feel like a great opportunity that appeals to me. And I've been wanting to do this ever since my research opportunity, or at least ever since I was a student at the high school. And I still want to be able to do, if I don't get the Peace Incorporated opportunity, I still want to be able to do what I do now, the outside IT work that I've been doing, because I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose the ability to run my business. I don't want to lose the ability to do these small IT jobs, which I still enjoy, and that will allow me to make that would still allow me to make a decent income, in my opinion. And I feel like that seems to be the best schedule, because if I try to juggle a full-time opportunity like Peace Incorporated plus this class, I don't think I'd have the time to be able to juggle both. But we'll see, and we will. Let's see, and I'll keep you updated on how this goes over the next week. In the meantime, let's get back to the music. We got Usher, Summer Walker, 21 Savage with Good Good plus more music, and we'll have the show and tell coming up. You'll want to, speaking of SU, you'll want to. I don't know if you can't wait, but I have some developing news regarding another building on another part of the SU campus that you might want to check out. That's all coming up here and more on the Weekend Party on Forever Living Radio. And I've actually the song that you just heard. I've actually mashed up with another song that you heard earlier on the show, John Newman, "Love Me Again." It just doesn't sound the same without hearing those two songs together. Moving on to the famous show and tell segment, we're going to start with these pictures that were taken on Thursday, I believe, at the Greece. This is at the Greece Ridge Center Mall, and the more I look at it, the more it reminds me of what the Irondequoit Mall, or what's now known as Skyview on the Ridge, used to be. And what we have here is a closed Finish Line store, and then what we have here is there's a fun house in this mall, and then there's a section of the mall where you go down this corridor and all these pictures of famous landmarks in New York State, famous areas in New York State. This one happens to be the campus of Syracuse University, and this one happens to be the Jackrabbit at Cypress Park. So, and it's a pretty big mall also. I walked almost the entire length of it, and I just couldn't believe how big or huge it is. It fills up at least 3 or 4 corridors. Now, keep in mind that this mall, again, used to be two separate malls that were merged together back in the 90s. And so what we have here is a big mall that I'm surprised that has a lot of stores. And as you can see, this mall, like the one in Irondequoit, had a carousel. The one in Irondequoit, unfortunately, is dead. It does not have the carousel. Parts of the carousel actually moved over to China. Here we're taking a look at the food court, and you can see that if you notice these little lights here, that's reminiscent of the Irondequoit Mall, and you can see the skylight. So it's unfortunate that we're not able to go into parts of the Irondequoit Mall, and with that, I'm not able to step back in time, but I've seen YouTube videos of what it's like inside the Irondequoit Mall now, and it's pretty much unchanged. And later in the show, if you want to take a look, I could actually show you a video of what the actual the Irondequoit Mall looks like. They did build a community center, and they did build some apartments. So the mall is being used to some capacity, but there's still parts of the mall in Irondequoit that still have been underdeveloped, and the current owner, Angelo Ingrassia, was promising some development in the rest of the mall back in 2016. So we're just hopefully that'll progress at some point. And if you haven't been out towards that Irondequoit area as well, they've also built a new Arby's. I mean, not a new Arby's, a new Aldi store out on the outer section of the mall. So now that Irondequoit Mall area has a new Aldi's. So we're going to move on now to somewhere close to home. And if you can't really see, I know it's a little bit foggy, but what we're looking at here is the just anybody venture a guess. Similar to the Irondequoit Mall, yes. I knew Mom would be happy about the Aldi's. The Greece Long Ridge Mall. It was the Greece Center in Long Ridge or something like that. It is similar to the Irondequoit Mall, was definitely smaller and do different floors. What we're looking at now is actually, this is the Alibrandi Catholic Center, also known as the John G. Alibrandi Catholic Center, which also featured the Moore house. So what you're looking here this is the house that I lived in for a semester, almost a semester. And it was run by the Alibrandi Catholic Center. and at the chaplain at the time, Father Linus DeSantis, and it's sad to see that it's now being demolished. It is in the process of being demolished. They are actually rebuilding the place, and they are making a new Catholic Center facility. And as you can see, parts of the current facility still stand, including the worship area. But as you can see here, uh, the old parts of the complex are being demolished, and that's just surreal for me because I can say that I've actually lived in that house, even though it was half a semester or a semester and a half. It was. I still had the privilege of living there, and then after I moved out, I was able to attend the Thursday night dinners that they had in the years since, up until I want to say 2019 or 2020. I believe my last dinner at this location was literally a week before COVID. So, and I was fortunate enough to stay part of the SU community for that long, 5 years after I was a student, to still be a part of the Alabrandy Catholic community. Even when I go back for Orange Central, the homecoming alumni reunion, I pay a visit to the center and still stay in touch. So it'll be interesting. Uh, I believe the new part of the Catholic Center will be ready before the fall. At least that's what I hope. And again, it's just sad to see this house. And they also demolished another part of the back of the Catholic Center, making room for new and improved facilities. So I'll keep you updated on that. Thought I'd share that, and we'll keep you updated. In the meantime, we're going to go back to the music. Here we got a Forever Living classic hit, Jay-Z with Hard Knock Life. Then we're going to take a small commercial break, and we'll be back with more. Maybe we'll do trivia. Maybe I'll show you actually. Oh, I got a better idea. I can show you videos of the Erotic Point Mall on YouTube, or I could show you home videos at the Maplewood Park, but I don't think I have those ready yet. And of course, we got the Bump It or Dump It. So stay tuned, and we got more coming up. Yes, was it the Lowe's Theater or the Landmark Theater? I do remember you telling me when we went to that TSO concert that Harry Hooper did the gold leafing inside the Landmark Theater, and and then you're telling me that he did the churches and steeples. Before we go any further, I did want to bring to your attention that I forgot to mention off the top of the show or the last break. Unfortunately, in the city of Rochester, we had some devastating and tragic news. Unfortunately, a mass shooting occurred on last Sunday night at the Maplewood Park in Rochester. Okay, yes, Landmark Theater that used to be a Lowe's Theater. Okay. Unfortunately, a mass shooting occurred at the Maplewood Park in Rochester over the last weekend. I believe it occurred on last Sunday night. Two were killed, and I think at least 7 were injured. And probably that number has now increased. They still haven't found the person responsible for the shooting, but this was just ridiculous. I could say that times have definitely changed, and we used to go there. And it does say that as of the first of August, Maplewood Park, the place where actually I got lost on the playground. I'll always remember being lost on the playground, and we actually have home video that Grandpa shot from when they were there, when Grandma and Grandpa came to visit, and then we went down to Maplewood Park. I was going to get that ready to play back for you tonight on this show, but I didn't have time to put that together. It's just sad. Times have definitely changed, and areas of New York State, areas of Rochester, areas of Syracuse that I thought were safe obviously are not safe anymore. However, Rochester has declared that Maplewood Park area has reclaimed that as a safe space once again. And as I said, I was, as you saw through the Grease Mall pictures, I was in that area, and when I drove past the Maplewood Park on Thursday, I was surprised to see the police, if there were any police tape. I was surprised to see the police tape taken down and the Maplewood Park just open again, even after what happened. I mean, it was shocking news to me, and again, it just goes to show how times have changed. I mean, it for anybody to have to go through that is just terrible. And if you're a victim, especially, it's just as hard. If you know somebody who was affected, it's just as hard to realize, and you don't really know how incidents like this affect you until it actually happens to you. So I'm glad that it's a safe space again, but that should have never happened. And when I heard Maplewood Park, my internal antenna went off because I instantly recognized what part of the city that was from, and that was again a place that we went to growing up. And these are the last pictures. I'm going to go back into show and tell mode, and I'm going to show you the last pictures that I took of the park back in the winter. And let's see, this was obviously in February during the middle of a weekday. But as you can see, It was quiet then. The difference was on Sunday was full of people who were enjoying a party. That's the pond that I'm sure a lot of you remember. And that's not the park. That's a picture I had to take for work. And I believe I was also there last summer. I must have been there probably in the summer as well. And I also took pictures of the park there. And this is, nope. If I could do a search to try to find my locations. Oh, and of course, while we're at it, we gotta share the wedding photos. So as I scroll through this section, I just realized that tomorrow it's gonna be tomorrow. I think it's gonna be tomorrow, or yes. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. Boy, did that year go fast. Boy, did that year go fast. Tomorrow, Rachel and Rod are going to celebrate their first anniversary together. That's amazing to think of. That is just amazing to think of here. And as I try to find any more clips, no, that's OCC. I believe I took pictures of the Maplewood Park in the summertime. Oh, here we go, yes. That's Durand. But here, these are the last pictures that I took of Maplewood Park in the summertime. And obviously it's quiet, and it still looks how I remember it to be. But again, Maplewood Park, it's just amazing to see. And it's a tragedy as to what happened last Sunday. And hopefully the victims' families, hopefully the injured get well, and prayers to the families of those two individuals who were killed. So, and that was unfortunate. Now we're going to show you. I'm going to show you now a YouTube video thanks to a guy named Anthony from Ace's Adventures. This is a brief preview of what pictures, videos that he took from inside the Irondequoit Mall. And that, I remember we used to go to that ice cream stand that used to be a Baskin Robbins. And it's currently not open, but there are some urban explorers, they call them, that they can go in and explore these closed properties, and they try their best to do it legally. But thanks to them, we get this quality video of buildings that were once open, or buildings that were once part of our past. I'm not going to show any more of that because of possibility that I might get in trouble. But that was just a small preview of what the Irondequoit Mall looked like in 2020. It's been closed since 2009, but there are some other parts of the mall, like the community center, that are still open. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to take another music break. I don't know if we have time for a game. I don't think we have time for a game. And I've been trying to develop some more games. We're gonna have to set aside a dedicated day that's not part of the show to get a game in. But we will move on to the Bump It or Dump It. Yes, we are going to move on to the Bump It or Dump It segment. It's coming up after the break. And it's not too late to get your requests in. If you have any song requests that you would like me to play, I have 3 in mind, but I am looking for a 4th. And that's all coming up next, right here on the Weekend Party. And that is from the Rugrats movie soundtrack. And it also features Maya, so Blackstreet and Maya. Maya, along with SWV 702, Mace, Total, and this next artist, are performing live at the Empire Federal Credit Union Amphitheater at Lakeview tonight. For a show called The Queens of R&B. Actually, we were going to go to that, but Matt and I were going to go to that tonight, but then we had other plans, and we realized it may be too late of a night. So instead of going, I didn't really want to miss out on the show. So with that, we're going to kick off tonight's Bumper to Dump It with a song by one of the other artists who are performing in the Queens of R&B concert. Their name is Xscape. That's XSCAPE, and I think this is one of their best known hits called Just Kicking It. Nope, you probably wouldn't. It was a hip hop song that was featured, an R&B song that was featured on the Rugrats movie soundtrack, and probably you wouldn't have recognized it. But if you recognized the beginning, it kind of had a hook that was reminiscent of the Rugrats movie soundtrack. But please enjoy. This is Xscape with Just Kicking It. The voting begins now. Bumper to Dump It. Okay, we received no votes. Oh yes, yes. Thank you for the comment. Well, every place I go, the Rugrats keychain. Oh yes, that's funny. A lot of people grew up on that show. During the song, we received no votes, so I don't know how to interpret that. Did anybody listen to the? I don't mean to be harsh. Did anybody listen to the song, or did they not? Maybe they don't have an opinion. During the song, I received no votes, which is rare. So, what y'all think? Yes, what y'all think? Can you give me your votes now? Or we just want to move on to the next song? Okay, bump. Okay, thanks, Rachel, for your bump vote. Uh, how about Elizabeth? Okay. Mom has bumped the song. So it's only the four of us on here now. Elizabeth, Rachel, Rod, and Mom. And I'm assuming Alex signed off for the night. So I think we're just waiting for Elizabeth's vote. And usually, okay. I just found it rare that we didn't have any votes during the song, so no big deal. I'll just ask for the votes after. Coming up, we're gonna change tunes a bit, and Halsey came up with a song that actually borrows from the past, borrows from Britney Spears. So the chorus may sound familiar. It's called "Lucky," and I want you to know. I want to know how you all feel about this. This is my first time hearing it tonight. It borrows the chorus from the Britney Spears song of the same name, and we'll see if this matches up to the original or if it's not so much. So here we go. Part of me says I don't know what to think. Part of me says the original's the best, and no one can ever beat the original. But after listening to this, I think it deserves a bump, and I agree with Elizabeth and Rachel's twisting the narrative to modernize it and adapt it to Halsey's own uh, storytelling and her own her own real life situation. So I can't wait till there's a mashup of the two, and I can't wait until she and Britney Spears get on stage and perform it live as a collaboration. Don't know if that's going to happen just yet, but with that kind of sample in it, that's got to happen. I predict that's going to happen sometime in the next year, at least maybe at the Grammys or at one of the music festivals. There's got to be a Halsey Britney Spears collaborative, and Max Martin, who is one of the original writers on the song, is probably getting royalties from that cover as well. I would imagine that he is listed as one of the co-writers because of the sample. Moving on down, we got two more, switching back into Nickelodeon mode. If you haven't watched Nickelodeon like I have more recently, you probably wouldn't recognize the actors that are going to be featured in this next video. But this next video is a really powerful and inspiring song about being yourself and letting no one take away who you are. It is called No Apologies. It's not that new. It didn't come out as recently as this year, but it's pretty recent compared to if you haven't watched Nickelodeon in the recent years. So let me know what you think of this. I'll be very curious to know what you think of this. It's called No Apologies, featuring the cast of some more recent Nickelodeon shows. It's a pretty catchy bop, and I'll be curious to know what you think. Now I feel bad because I recognize the actors. Some of the I I recognize some of the actors who were in that video. And again, I'm still watching Nickelodeon. I've still been watching the Nickelodeon network longer than probably the rest of you have. And I'd give it a personally, I'd give it a bump. And so I'm very surprised because it had such an inspirational message in it about self acceptance and being who you are. I thought maybe we'd get some bumps because of not necessarily because of the music, but so I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised why this song uh, got dumps, and I'm probably guessing why, because probably the music wasn't good. The music, my guess is the music didn't like the singing and the voices. Okay, I get it. But you have to realize, poor music. You can't just evaluate song on the music alone. Again, I realize that. But I'm here to remind you, you can't just judge a song on the music production and the vocal quality alone. I mean, even if the oh, come on, the message was too simplistic. I hate to put my foot down, but I'm trying to argue for, not against the track. And I'm sorry, and I hate to put my foot down and raise my voice like this, and I do respect your opinions here, but come on. I'm trying to argue my reasons for me personally voting bump for that track. And the best evidence that I have is the overarching theme and message that it's teaching kids, and generally, yes, everybody can have their own opinions. That's true. It's not what I say necessarily. It's not what I say goes. This is free. It's hard. And everybody is entitled to their own opinions. That's the beauty of living here in the U.S. and with the freedom of speech. So I was just curious more than anything to see how you would vote for it. So we're just going to move on. And we're going to close with a song that actually I had in mind last week, but I didn't have time to put it in. Rachel actually requested this last week. It is the newest from an artist called Mark Ambor, and it's called Belong Together, and we'll see what everybody thinks. We'll see what you think of this one. Bump it or dump it, voting begins now. Again, I want to apologize for snapping at the last segment. We were playing a song from Nickelodeon and a more recent Nickelodeon song that featured actors from more recent Nickelodeon shows, and both songs got dumps. I'm sorry, one song, but both Rachel and Elizabeth dumped it because the music and the vocals were, in their opinion, poor quality, and I was here stating my case why the overall narrative and message of the song, which is really important, being who you are and letting nobody take that away from you, especially to kids. I felt like the message alone should be a reason I would vote bump for it. Excuse me. But then I have to realize that you can't just judge a song based on its music production and vocal quality alone. You have to look at the whole thing, the story behind it, as well as what the lyrics are trying to communicate. And it's not. I realize it's not fair to everyone because everyone is entitled to their own personal opinion. And just because I raise my voice or I get upset about it doesn't mean you have to change your opinion just because you might feel it might upset me. Because that's not what America is. And I hate to be political, but we do live in a free country where there is freedom of speech and everybody is entitled to their own personal opinion. So again, I didn't really mean to make anyone upset by what I said about questioning why you voted dump for it. You have your own personal opinion. That's why we do these segments. That's why we do these segments, to just get an objective feel or an objective measurement on yes. Thank you for those words, Mom. It's but again, this bumper to dump segment is an objective measure to see how the audience reacts to the music, or at least to the new music that I bring into the show, and present your objective as a preface to the song. Okay. That would help. And I did say that in the beginning, before we played that Nickelodeon song. I did say that what's really important about it is the message or the narrative that it has, not necessarily the music production or the vocal quality. And just for Alex's sake, we're gonna try to play that. We're gonna play it again because you missed it, and we'll see what Alex thinks. And with that in mind, I'm not asking you to change your votes. I'm just asking to at least look at it from my point of view, although you don't have to look through it from my point of view. You don't have to change your opinion or your beliefs or your thoughts or your values based on how I feel about it. I'm not a dictator, or I'm not trying to bully. I shouldn't have said dictator. I'm not trying to do emotional abuse. I'm not emotional or I'm not verbally abusive to anybody, or at least I try not to be. because essentially if that were to happen, if I were to get upset over every single thing that anybody said to me, and then because of that they'd be scared to stand up and stick with their original opinion, then I feel like that constitutes verbal or emotional abuse in some way, and I don't really want that to happen. Looking into this I'm probably looking into this too much when I shouldn't. But you are entitled to your own opinions, and I was only trying to advocate for why I thought it would be a bump-worthy song. So for Alex and for a qualitative assessment of the song from more than one point of view that may include the message, style, and other qualitative. Okay, so it's more well balanced. Yep, someone could say that even though the message is good, the music production and the vocal quality could also be improved. And I know that for most of these Nickelodeon types of songs, they try their hardest, and so. And again, this is for a different audience. This was made for a kid audience who still watches Nickelodeon, and consider the perspectives. Yes, there's more than one. All right, enough. Enough of me jabbering on. Now that Alex is on, we're going to replay that song. And I don't have much time left. So we're going to try to play. I don't know if we have time to play any of the other ones. That we had a Halsey song that sampled Britney Spears' "Lucky." We had an Escape song because they're playing at the Queens of R&B. So again, we're just gonna play this, and then I'm gonna come back. Nope, we're not going to go quite to that song just yet. So, Alex is on. What'd you think of it? And you can be honest, please. And again, you don't really know who's. You don't recognize, and I understand your perspective. You may not recognize the actors or the performers who did that particular song. So that's probably another reason why it's not one of your favorites, and that's okay. And that's why we do these songs, or that's why we do this, just to get an idea of what the listeners think, not to sway one person's opinion one way or the other. So, and again, I apologize for. Yes, are you still? Yes, you should still be on. If you can hear and see me, please let me know. If you're not able to hear and see me, please let me know. I am back on the. I am back on with the live feed. If you are not able to see and hear me, Alex is still on, according to the information that I have here. I'm able to look at the real-time database of users who are currently on and listening to the station. I don't know if we're not hearing anything from Alex, so I don't know if he's still on. If he's, we're just gonna go on. We're gonna end the show. Have a good night. I know it's late. Mazel tov. I'm signing off. Everybody stay forever living, and it's appropriate that we close with NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. We'll see you next weekend.